Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. Today we're going to ask ChatGPT about the Cunningham defence, which we looked at yesterday in a video. Tell me about the Cunningham defence and see what ChatGPT comes out with and see how it compares to what we said in the video. Let's have a look. The Cunningham defence is a sharp and tactical response to the King's Gambit. Okay, so firstly, I don't particularly agree with that. I think the King's Gambit is sharp and tactical. The Cunningham is not particularly. I mean, I would say the most sharp and tactical are moves like g5 or d6, which are really the critical lines. Maybe knight f6, although I think that's a bit less sharp. But they've got the moves right. e4, e5, f4 takes, knight f3, bishop e7. That's exactly right. In this line, black immediately targets white's aggressive intentions. Yes. Preparing, yes. Rapid development and counterplay. That's exactly right. Key ideas for black. g5. Okay, so it's true that black holds back the advance of the g-pawn. Black doesn't often play g5 in this line, although of course sometimes. Fisher's idea. The Cunningham can transpose into lines where black plays bishop h4 check. Okay, so black certainly can play bishop h4 check, but it doesn't transpose into those lines, it just is those lines. Castling kingside quickly, absolutely. I agree. White's f-pawn becomes a target for black's pieces. Okay, well that's not right, is it? Because black takes the f-pawn on the second move. So that's just not very meaningful. I mean, it's not a target for black's pieces. It gets taken by a black pawn on move 2, as in e takes f4. So that's just confused. Bishop c4 is the main move. Black's typical response here is bishop h4 check. Okay, that's not the main line, actually. As we saw in the video, the main line is knight f6. But bishop h4 is quite commonly played. Yeah, so d4, white does try to reinforce the centre. Black should probably respond with bishop h4 check followed by d5. I think that's exactly right. So this example line, bishop e7, bishop c4, bishop h4 check, king f1. Yeah, this looks sensible. So the reason the bishops come back to e7 is because if you play knight f6 straight away, the bishop on h4 hangs to the knight on f3. So this is not silly, and I think this summary is fine. Pros and cons. Pros, avoids things like g5, the more solid, correct. Offers black counterplay development, correct. Disrupts white attacking centres with early checks, correct. Cons. White centre can become powerful, yup. The bishop on e7 may sometimes feel passive, fair. White can opt for quiet positional approaches to avoid complications, that's also true. That's also true. Yes. Well, of course not completely, but fair. The Cunningham defence is a good choice. Players want to counter the King's Gambit with solid yet sharp play. Yes. It provides flexibility and forces white to develop carefully while navigating potential threats. So the answer is there's some really good ideas in here. It's basically good, but there is some things that are just not true or confusing. I mean, this is particularly a problem. White's f-pawn often becomes a target. I mean, white's f-pawn is just given away in all lines of the King's Gambit accepted. And also Fisher's idea. I mean, Fisher had a lot of ideas in chess, but I think Fisher's main idea was to play d6. That's the Fisher variation, which he invented after losing to Spassky. And that's a very good move. So e4, e5, f4 takes, knight f3, pawn d6 is Fisher's big idea, although he may have had other ideas in the King's Gambit. I mean, he had a lot of ideas. He was an amazing chess player. So I think the answer is it's helpful and insightful, but it can be misleading and confusing. Hope you're all well.